Hello everybody, Jamie the Board Game Man, and today we're going to look at a game from the year 2024. It's by Kids Table Board Gaming. It is a 2 to 4 player game, ages 8 and up, takes about 30 or so minutes to play. Today we're going to look at Cafe Baras. All right, everybody, here we are with Cafe Baras. Let's check it out. Okay, here we go. All right, so you can say this is a card game, and what you're doing is you're putting together your own cafe, and you're feeding your customers, you're trying to get regular customers, and so on. And depending on, there's two different ways this game can end. You're trying to get the most points at the end of the game, and that's how the game ends. There's two different ways to end the game, is if you end up getting 4 regular customers, or you go through the deck twice. But you can see there's quite a few in here and stuff. So that's it's probably going to pretty much be when you get 4 regular customers. But if you do go through that a second time, that will end the game as well, and everyone goes through their points. All right, not much to the setup. You can see you have your coins right here. You're going to place a little supply here. Each player starts off with $7. Now, what we're going to do here is we have the cafe cards, which are here. Okay. Then you have what are called the special guest cards, and then you have the counter cards, and each player will choose which one of these cafes you want to have. There are no real special abilities for each one, so it's not one of those kind of games. If you have this one, you have this special ability. Not really. The only thing you have is you start off with a food type, and which is on a banner in the upper right-hand corner on here. That's what you're going to start off with. In this case, this is a coffee, and this will be a tea. So you choose which one you want to have. So you're going to choose, let's go with been there, done that. We'll put that over here, and he's going to start off with a tea. And express yourself, since it's right here. We'll use that for the coffee, and then all the other ones will go back into the box. I'm going to go ahead and show you a 2-player game. It is a 2 to 4 player game. Put that back in the box over here. The play area is something like this. What you're going to do is you're going to take those special guest cards, and these are end scoring situations here. This is for everybody. It's like a common area where you can get bonus points here. So you're going to go ahead and put 5 out here, like so. And then after you do the 5, you'll put the rest back in the box. Get these out of here. Those are your special character cards that everyone is trying to go to for bonus points at the end of the game. 4 cafe cards. We're going to go ahead and turn over 4 of these things. Okay. Well, 2 of the same here. Okay. Okay, all right. And then you're going to go 4 cards to start off everybody with. So everyone's going to start off with 4 cafe cards. I sleeve these, so sorry if there's any kind of glare there. Sorry about that. And that's it. That's the only setup you got. You're going to put 5 special guest cards out there, 4 cafe cards. Each player gets $7. You pick which cafe you want to have, and then each player starts off with 4 cafe cards. That's it. So the setup is pretty quick. I love that. All right, here we go. So on your turn, you're going to choose one card that's in your hand, and you're going to either add it to your cafe or you're going to serve a customer. Let me show you what a card looks like here. We're going to go over this card here. This is a yerba mate. Yerba mate, I guess that's what it is. There's 2 different things on the card that you can choose from. So that's what I like about dual cards. If you're going to add to your cafe, you're going to look at the top half of the card. If you're feeding a customer, you're going to look at the bottom half of the card. Let's just say we want to, you know what I'll do is I'm going to go over the different kinds of food types. That's what I definitely want to do. That way you have a little more understanding of what I'm trying to do here. So the different food types are as follows. Okay, I have one of each right over here to show as an example. So see in the upper left-hand corner of these are called the coffees. You can see it almost looks like a coffee cup, like you get something from like Starbucks or something. Then you have, the next one here. These are the teas. They have like a small, almost like a teacup. Then you have the cold drinks. Okay. Then you will have snacks, like a sandwich. Okay. Then you also have soups. And then you also have sweets. That's like a little cupcake. Okay, those are the 6 different food types that are in the game. Now, it's not just about the food when it comes to cafes, when people love your cafes. They also love the decor or the atmosphere. Okay, there's 3 different ones. This is the rustic, just looks like a little clock. You also have the retro, which is like the furniture and stuff inside. And then you also have the modern, so how modern your cafe looks, okay? So those are the 3 different kinds. You have 6 different food types and 3 different kinds of decor that you're going to get you those regular customers. So now that I have explained that, now we're going to go ahead and add to our cafe. So you can see here, I have a coffee, I have a cold drink, I have a tea, and I also have a rustic here. Now on these cards, you'll see on the top part, because we're going to go ahead and add to our cafe. Like I said before, this is the food type. This is how the little gold coin there, that's how much it's going to cost to add it to your cafe. And this is the victory point you're going to get at the end of the game. You'll add up all the victory points of all the items that you have in your cafe. So let's just say I'm going to add this Tinto coffee to my cafe. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pay the 1 coin to add it. So now I'm going to have 2 coffees in my cafe. So I'm going to set this here. You usually kind of want to stick them in the same rows. I don't know how you want to do it. You want to do it this way or whatever. Because you want to tuck in, once you get your customer, your stable customer, you're going to tuck them underneath here. So I don't want to put that underneath there. So I'm going to kind of maybe put like this, so I'll still have room to tuck underneath there. So I'm going to pay my 1 coin. I'll also get 1 victory point at the end of the game. Then you also have these little text areas here. Some of these are a one-time deal, and some of them are continuous. And if it's like a continuous thing, you'll see, it's called action text is what this is called. And anything that has a exclamation point right here pretty much means that it's going to be an ongoing effect. Okay, this one does not. It says you may add another card, paying the cost as usual. So if I wanted to play this, I paid my $1. If I want to go ahead and add a second card that I have in my hand to my cafe at this time, I can. Excuse me, let's just say I do. I'm going to add this yerba mate over to my thing. So I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 coins for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over here, get $3 back. Now this has a question mark, as you can see here. It depends on this here. I get 1 point for each different kind of tea I have, because there's all sorts of different kind of teas you can get. So it says the one on your counter card does not count. So, but this one, I don't have it on my counter card, so that's okay. But if I had a tea, like in this instance, if I had this would not count towards the count at the end of the game. So depending on the different kind of teas I have, I'll get 1 point for each one. That's why that's a question mark. So I'm going to go ahead and place this like this, and maybe I'll put the tea right here. Okay. So this is going to be an ongoing one. So I'm going to remember when I get a second one, I don't want to maybe go like this with it. Usually you'll go this, but I would kind of maybe do something like this. That way I remember to get those points at the end of the game. Actually, you probably will, because you'll be able to, you have to look at all your points. I guess that's okay to do it that way, because you'll be looking at all your points anyway. So, okay. So then I do that. My turn is now done. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw back up to 4 cards. I only have 2 in my deck now, so I'm going to go ahead and grab. Oh, actually, I don't grab from here. I made a mistake there. You're going to grab 2 from this area right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a table, grab a rustic there, and I'll go ahead and let's see. I want different teas, so that might help me out. So I'm going to go for this herbal tea here. Now you're not going to pay for it at this point. You're going to pay for it when you add it to your cafe. So here you're just taking the cards. So I'll take the herbal tea. All right. Now I'm going to draw back up to 4 up here. Ooh, an arcade cabinet. Cool. And then we got another coffee up there. Oh, we got all 3 coffees. I guess coffees are going to be very popular this game. Okay. And now it's the next player's turn. Okay. And you do the same thing. You're going to go ahead and add to your cafe until you have enough to pay to do a customer. Now let me go ahead and show you how that works. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. I can actually have a customer that we can actually get involved here. A regular customer is what they're called. So let's just say I have this Tinto coffee over here as well. I have another Tinto coffee. I've got 3 coffees now. Okay. What happens is, say I want to serve a customer now. This card here has 3 coffees on the bottom. Now, obviously, if I'm serving a customer, I'm going to not look at that top part. I'm serving a customer now. I have 3 coffees here. I have now 3 coffees in my cafe. So now I get 1 coin for each one of the cafe kind of, the food types that match here. So I have 3 coffees. I have 3 of these. I would get 3 coins from the bank. just like that. I would get 3 coins. Okay, perfect. Now, right now, I don't have the decor. So he does not become a regular customer. When you get a regular customer, you have to have all the items down here. And that's how they become a customer, a regular customer. And then I would tuck this underneath here. But I am missing the decor. But I still get 3 points, or 3 coins, I should say, for all these 3 coffees, because I have 3 coffees in my cafe. And then I put this in a discard pile, because you don't keep these when you serve a customer. You don't keep them. The only time you keep when you serve a customer is if he's a regular customer. You would tuck it underneath your cafe. So it's going to go off to the side in a discard pile. Okay, got my $3, and that's how you get money in this game, is by serving your customers. All right. Okay, now if you had all 4 and becomes a regular customer, you will still get the 3 coins for these, but you do not get a coin for the decor. Okay, you only get the coins for the cafe items. Okay, so that even if I had the decor, I will still get the 3 coins for this. And this will turn into a regular customer. So I'm going to put this aside. Okay, and then my turn is done. All right, just like that. Perfect. All right, now let's go on to, let's see. Well, we're going to go ahead and replenish that. We got a cribbage game. That's pretty cool. And now we're going to go on to this player here. Now, if a player ends up getting, oh, perfect example. Let's just say, let's get some customers on this side. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and use this this player as a example for this. Let's just say I had this one. This one needs some cold drinks. Let me show you how this works. If I can get another cold drink in here. Cold drinks are, let's see, where are they at in here? Come on. Let's see, cold drinks. Geez, if I can find it, there we go. So let's just say in my cafe, I wanted to feed my customer this cookie here, okay? Now you can see my cafe here, we have a tea that has a heart, okay? So if it has a heart, that person loves that cafe choice. So let's just say in this cafe, I had 3 teas, a couple cold drinks in there, and so on. So I would still get the 2 coins for these. Okay, still get the 2 coins for those because I do have 2 coffees. So I get 2 coins for this. Now, since I have the tea and there's a heart next to it, he wants all the tea you have because he loves the tea. That's his favorite cafe item. You're not just going to get 1 coin for that. You're going to look in your cafe and see how many of that item you have in your cafe. In this case, I have 3. So I would actually get 3 coins just for that tea and then the 2 for these. So I would get 5 coins just for that. Boom. There we go. So these heart ones are really important. If you have a lot of that item, you definitely want to serve your customer with that. Okay. Now, just as much as if I just had 1, okay, let's say I would still get the 3 coffees or 3 coins for this, and I would only get the 1 coin for this because I only had, well, actually I have this one over here. So let's just say I didn't have any coffee at all, but I just wanted to get that, just wanted to cash it on those 3. I still can. I don't need all these items to get the money. If I just had this and I have 3 of those, I get 3 coins. If I didn't have any of these and I just had the 1 coffee, then I would just get the 1 coin, and that's it. And then you serve your customer, and then you're on. You don't need to have all the items in order to serve a customer. You might only have 1 item. You might only have 2 of the items. You can do that. You just sell it. You get 1 coin for each item that you have on in your cafe. Okay, just want to make sure I pointed that out. All right, now let's go to the end scoring. So when you're going to the end scoring, you're adding your per cafe here. Let's go ahead and add a few things here just to show what's going on here. Let's just say I have, let's see, another cake here. May have some treats here or something. And let's see, I have a soup and so on. And then once you do, I might have a couple. And what you do is you tuck it in like that when you get a regular customer. So you had a couple regular customers here and so on. And then all of a sudden you have a 4th one. So then next, just say I got my 4th, or actually, I should tell you that. If it is a 2-player game, then you need 4 regular customers. If it is a 3 or 4-player game, all you need is 3 regular customers. Okay. Let's just say it's set up like this. He has 2 over here. I'm not going to go through a whole cafe thing because you kind of get the gist of it here. I'm not going to have all this stuff going on at the same time. I just want to show you how this works. Say it's the end of the game. One of us ended up getting 4 favored customers here, regular customers, and that triggers the end of the game. All other players would get 1 final full turn. So as soon as somebody gets their 4th regular customer, every other player in there gets 1 more turn to get 1 full turn to see what they can do. Okay. Say the game ends. Let's just do that. Just kind of show we have a few more bucks here. And that's it. Okay. So what we're going to do, this is the final scoring of the game. The first thing you're going to do, there is no score pad in here, so you have to get a piece of paper and everything, or just use a calculator and just do it that way. And you're going to add 4 different things. Number 1, you get, for every 2 coins, you get 1 point. And then round down. So I got 10, I got 12, 14, 16, 17. So I go down to 16, I would get 8 points for my money. Okay. The second thing is you're going to look at each cafe card. It displays the score value, like in this instance would be the question mark. Then you read, how many different teas do I have? Well, it looks like I have 2 the same. I have 2 different ones, so I would get 2 points for that because there's 1 point for each different tea I have. So I would get 2 points for that. Okay. So the second thing you're going to look at is all the question marks. If you have any question marks, make sure you get points for those. Third thing is you're going to look for each regular you have tucked away. You get 4 points, which it shows right here. That's what the little 4 means here. You get 4 points for each regular customer you have. So in this case, I would get 16. This would get 8. Okay. Then you're going to look at each cafe and you're going to go ahead and add up all the points. Add up all the points and you get the points for whatever you have there. Then you're going to look at each special guest. Did you do what those special guests really like? No one else has more sweets than you do. He is the sweet tooth. Well, I have 1. He doesn't have any. So I would get the 6 points because no one else has more than you. I have 1 more than that customer, so I would get the 6 points for this. The cafe critic. You have all 3 decors. I only have the 1, so I would not get the 6 points for that. The slurper. No one else has more soup than you. Well, I got 1 soup. This guy doesn't have any soup, so I would get the 6 points for that. 2 different performers. So say you had the performers. I don't think I have any performers in here, and he doesn't have any of the performers. But one of the performers that we had in here is like the live music would be one of them. Okay, that's one of the performers they have in here. So that would pertain to this. And then if you're the writer and you have 3 coffees and a cookie. In this case, we don't. We actually have the 3 coffees, or we did until I put them over here. But we do have the 3 coffees, but I don't have a cookie. I have a cake, but I don't have a cookie. I would need this. And then you would get the 6 points for that one. All right. And that's the scoring. That is all the scoring. You're going to have 1 point for every 2 coins you have. You're going to look at all the question marks, make sure you get the points for those, add up all the points that you have in your cafe, and then you're also going to get 4 points for every regular you have here, and then check out these guys at the top here and the special guests, and then you're going to tally up your points. Whoever has the most points wins the game. And if there's a tie, well, there is a shared victory, just like that. There is no tiebreaker. Maybe you want to do the money as a house rule or something for the tiebreaker or something, but there is no tiebreaker in the instructions. So if you tie, you share. All right. And that, my friends, is Cafe Baras. All right. Let's head up to the top, and I'll go ahead and give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on Cafe Baras. Now, I have not played this game yet. I've only had this game for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm really hoping my next game night I can break it out, because I do want to try this out, because what I usually do is I watch a lot of videos, determine whether I think I might like it or not. I went back and it was still there, so I was able to pick it up. And I was able to learn pretty quickly how to play it. Watched a couple playthroughs, really enjoyed watching the playthroughs, kind of understood how it works. And it looks a lot of fun. And I like that it's not just cafe items you're going to. You have the 3 decor cards you're going for too. And you need to have those, or at least 1 or 2 of them, to get those regular customers. You can't just build up your cafe items. You got to spend time to go and get the decors as well. And I like that. That's how you get money, is by, well, like, I'm going to feed my customer, and you might only need a buck or two. You know, there's one card in there, one of the character cards in there. If you have $8, you get 6 bonus points. So sometimes the money can come into play too, because sometimes the money, you're just pretty much just buying things for your cafe. But there is one of them in there, because I think there's about 10 or 12 different one of those. There's quite a few of those character cards in there. So the replayability is pretty good too. You can change it up every single game with the different things that you could choose from, all the different character cards. Choosing your own cafe is, it's not that big of a deal. There's 4 different ones. 2 of them have a coffee, 2 of them have a tea. Not much going on there. No special abilities on that. So the name of your cafe doesn't really matter in this game, which is fine. I mean, some games it's like if you have this character, you get this special ability throughout the game. It's not like that at all in this game. It's straight up. Either you start off with a coffee or tea, and then you're off to the races trying to make your own cafe, depending on how many items you want of each cafe item you want in your cafe, and the decor and all that stuff. I think it's pretty cool. Money only comes into play when it's 2 coins for every point. So it doesn't mean, and it doesn't even have a tiebreaker. It just says if there's a tiebreaker, you win, or you share the victory. So I was like, wow, usually sometimes like that, they'll usually have, if you have the most money, or you have this or that. Nothing. It's just if you have the same points, you win. So very interesting. But you can always house rule. Maybe if you have the most money is a tiebreaker. I think that'd be a good tiebreaker in there. But anyway, I think it's good enough that you should get it. I think it's a pretty cool game. And hopefully I'll play this on my next board game night. And I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it. These kind of games I do end up kind of liking quite a bit. So, all right. Well, let me know what you think about the episode. Thank you all for voting. This is the first time I've ever had a voting thing where you vote what my next episode was. And this edged out everyone else. And it was funny because this was actually in last place for most of it. And I must have got a last minute dash at the very end. And I'm getting 37, and 37 actually won it. So the other 2 were tied at 32%, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll end up doing episodes on those 2, because those other 2 games I had on that list were actually pretty cool too. But I was very happy to be able to bring this episode to you with Cafe Baras. All right, well, let me know if you played the game. Let me know if you like it, don't like it. And until next time, everybody, happy gaming.